Shakyanam Janasalakya Chakshuramitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. So I was requested to talk about Kamsa. So every day we talk about a demon. Most of the demons, they when they appear to Krishna, they have an animal form, but they also have a human form, and by their mystic powers, some persons, by performing austerities, you can get mystic power. And you can use this mystic power for the good or for evil, right? Just like you have white witches and you have black witches. And that, so some people use whatever talents they have. If they're wealthy or whatever, they use their money for the good of people, and others not just for themselves, like that. So the living entity, in general, we are selfish. So we especially become selfish if our life is in danger. It's like, for instance, sometimes there is like in a train there's an accident or a plane accident, and sometimes most people get killed because they just trample each other, just going towards the exit. Because of selfish reason, you don't go when there's an explosion. No, you go first. No, you go first. No, you go first. No, and they go trample on top of their heads, etc., etc. And this way, many people died in cases like train accidents or plane accidents, just because of the anxiety and I want to get out. Because it's our nature that we want to save ourselves. If you see a little ant walking and you go like this, then they will try to get out of your grip or whatever. That is just our nature of the living entity, that we want to survive. And if it's at the cost of other living entities, then alas. But great souls, sometimes they were even, what was the name of this brahmachari or this great sage who was requested for his bones to be to give to is that you say the name? Yes. So he was requested, please, actually the demigods went to him, right? And they said the only way to conquer the demons is we need your bones. Was it the bones or something like, yeah? So what would you say if someone would come, excuse me, the manner, it's a big mess, etc. The only thing we can save is we need your bones. Is that okay? What would you say? Oh, yes. No, can we not do something? How about this? How about that? You try to find ways to get out of this tricky situation. But the great sage stayed, oh yes, my bones, yes, take it. Which one? Hand, everything, take it. Like that. And that is, you see, whenever there's a test coming, then it shows, how selfish you are. Like if there's prasadam or there's not enough prasadam, will you share that little prasadam which you just found with the other devotees? Like that. So we go back to Kamsa. Kamsa was just outwardly a very nice bloke, a nice prince. And so there was one time, there was a wedding of Vasudeva to Devaki, and Devaki was like his youngest sister. So the custom in India is when the sister gets married and when she's taken by her husband to her new house, in this case a castle, then the elder brother drives the sister to her new house. So in this way, because this girl, she has been she's been brought up in the house of the father, and then all her family, then there's father and mother, she has to say goodbye, and at least her elder brother is there with her too. So she doesn't feel all alone going into this new world, like that. So in this way, Kamsa said, what's time for you to go? I will be your driver, please. The chariot is ready. So Devaki and Vasudeva, they got in the chariot, and she was not alone actually, because there were many maidservants. Especially when there's a princess married off, the father of the bride They give in India. They give dowry, but if it's a princess, then she gets lots of dowry. Lots of gold, saris, jewelry, maidservants, like that. And often it is described in Vedic literature that maidservants or servants, they're on the bottom of the list. It's like a human life. A servant is not that much valuable, like a slave. In the old days, even in the Bible, you read about slaves, or you buy them. Yeah, and it's a little strange for nowadays, but that was just common. But they were taken care of nicely, not with a whip, like that. But they were taken care of them. A servant was considered like a son, it's like that. They were not exploited. And the tendency here in the Western world, or in general, is, we try to, Kali Yuga, is that we exploit, everyone who's below us or whatever. So Kamsa was driving the chariot, and everything was in a good mood. The musicians were playing flutes and all kinds of Indian instruments, and then suddenly there was a voice coming from the sky, and a voice, and you didn't see it. It was unembodied. You didn't see anyone, and the voice went like, "Comes, you fool! You drive the chariot of your sister and brother-in-law, but you do not know that their 8th child will kill you." So what would you do when you hear this? So Kamsa, what did he do? He was driving just with his left hand, relaxed, just with one hand, holding the reins of the chariot. So when he heard this voice, then immediately he dropped the he took Devaki's hair, and with his right hand, because Satyas always carry a sword, and he went, and he was about to kill her, and then Vasudeva grabbed his arm, and he said, "What are you doing? You can't do this." And he tried saying all kinds of philosophical reasons why he shouldn't kill his sister. He says, How are you planning to kill your sister? Your sister, your baby sister, how can you do this? This is unheard of. Your reputation will be spoiled, and this is not possible. And he gave all kinds of arguments, but Kamsa still wasn't. He wanted to kill her. And then Vasudeva, then he tried to find another way. Then he thought, Vasudeva, he was very famous for one thing. Anyone knows where he was famous for? Huh? For keeping his word. And the Kshatriya, like Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, they all have their qualities. And a Kshatriya, one of the qualities is, that if they give you word, then, just like Arjuna says, if about the Brahmin who lost his child, I will get your son from wherever he is, even if he's in hell. And if not, then I will go into the fire, like that. And then the Brahmin was satisfied. This is very nice. So it's like that. If a Kshatriya gives a word, and not like here in the, if someone gives a word and then, actually, this happens, my wife flipped out, and I said I shouldn't do that, and this, my son is sick, and they find all kinds of reasons why not to do it, like that. So then Vasudeva said, please, you know what? I'll give you my word. He said, first of all, a very, very intelligent thing. He said, it's not Devaki you have to fear. The omen said it's her child, her 8th child. So why should you kill Devaki? You know what? As soon as there will be a baby born, I will hand it to you. And Kamsa was saying, I was thinking that makes sense, right? Devaki is not going to kill me, so no, I shouldn't kill her. And after all, it's not such good PR to kill a woman. It's not, because they have their reputation to think of. Right? And especially demons, they are very proud. So, no, imagine in the magazine, if there would be a newspaper, Kamsa slays sister. Oh, no. Bad PR. But because there were no papers at that time, but they were talking. Remember Lord Ramachandra, when he was in Ayodhya, and he was just being as a king, they go in disguise to hear what people say. So King Ramachandra was in Ayodhya, and then he suddenly heard a quarrel between a washerman and his wife. And the wife, she hadn't come home that night. And he said, I'm not like our king, who takes his wife back after, like this. And Ramachandra heard that, and he thought, oh dear, I took Sita back. Maybe that's not such a good example, isn't it? So like that. So the kings were, they were checking out, and always afraid that people were the bad kings, that if there is an enemy or if there's spies, because even in those days there were spies. And so there was also anti-spy, contra-spy, or contra-intelligence, and they were in the city to check if there were any spies of any other kingdoms who wanted to usurp his kingdom. It's politics, Kshatriyas, like that. So they have to think all of those things. So Kamsa was thinking, yeah, it's good, yeah, I don't have anything to fear of Devaki, yeah. Okay, you take her. Yes, very good. And then, of course, Vasudeva was pleased. But it said in the Bhagavatam, Vasudeva was relieved, but he knew that, the words of such a personality like Kamsa, you can't really trust. So he was, oh dear. And then what happened? Devaki became pregnant. So it's stated in the Bhagavatam that Vasudeva, wanted to keep his word of honor. In my eyes, being a sentimentalist, I was thinking, well, why didn't he flee away, in the middle of the night, and just like Joseph and Maria did, they took Jesus and it just went away on a donkey and somewhere to another country, so that King Herod, who also wanted to kill Jesus at that time, and the omen was there also. So like that. No, I was thinking like that, but who am I? So it's all for the sake of Leela. Also, of course, these things happen. So Vasudeva took his firstborn to Kamsa, and he says, "My dear Kamsa, as I've promised, he is my firstborn." Can you imagine how he would feel? Can you imagine your father? If you and anyone who is a father. To bring your firstborn, like it's the firstborn child in a marriage is generally, I don't have children, so I don't know that feeling, but I can imagine that it's always said that the firstborn is very special, and then of course every child is special, but the firstborn is, amazing. And so it's born, and then he takes the child from Devaki. Can you imagine Devaki? So the child sees, and he takes it from her and says, oh no, but she surrenders because her husband promised. So she had to give in, although, she was probably crying and sobbing and, like that. So, but anyway, so Vasudeva brought the firstborn child to Kamsa. Kamsa, he said, here it is. And then Kamsa, when he saw Vasudeva coming there with his child and ready to offer it to him, then he became so pleased, and then he thought, wow, I can really trust this Vasudeva. And then he was thinking, well, actually it was the 8th child, isn't it? And then being a Kshatriya, he wanted to be a little magnanimous, is that word? And he said, you can take that child away, it's all right, after all, it will be the 8th child. So take him back. And Vasudeva took him back, but of course, fearing that any time Kamsa would change his mind. So then, what happened? Who appeared on the scene? And Narada. If you read this book, you might think, why does he do this? Why does a devotee of the Lord go to an enemy of a devotee and tell them something which might put them in danger? But all this is for the sake of the Leela, for the pastime. So Narada Muni appeared, and Kamsa was honored that this sage arrived in his castle, and he was very friendly and appreciative, and great honor that you're here. And then Kamsa said, Narada Muni said, my dear Kamsa, did you know, he said, that in a previous life you were a great and powerful king by the name of Kalanemi, but you were killed by your arch enemy, Sri Vishnu. And he says, and this very same Vishnu is destined to take his birth, on this earth, in the womb of Devaki. And you should also know that all the demigods, they have appeared in the Yadu dynasty. They're all your enemies. Like that. So, Kamsa was very, of course, if you get a good advice, someone will say, oh, thank you very much, Narada. Thank you, I'm so obliged. Thank you. And Narada went away, and he immediately gathered his ministers. And then first of all, he immediately went to the prison where Devaki and Vasudeva were. Or no, they were not even. They were put in prison. And he killed the firstborn child. He just threw it against the ceiling, or he smashed it. He did it in different ways. And like that. So can you imagine how Devaki would feel? And Vasudeva. He says, so being a devotee of the Lord, it's very, very, you are tested a lot. And whenever you are tested, then just remember the great devotees. It's nothing. If you're tested, that means that you're making a little advancement. And so like if you're a baby, right? I'm not going to fight with you, but if you're a little, if you're a little stronger, etc., I might challenge you. So if a devotee, Maya likes everyone on her side, and her task is to test those who want to be, aspiring to be a devotee, how sincere they are. So in the beginning, she leaves you alone. So you're chanting, Hare Krishna, it's great, Hare Krishna, go on, Hare Namo, Sankirtan, yes, but take a book. Everything is great, everything is nice, you're fired up, and everything, you're full of life, and everything is new and lovely and tasty, and the prasadam is tasty, and everyone around you is a pure devotee, like that. And then, gradually you become older, you take initiation, you're a brahmachari, and then, then she'll start giving you trouble, like that. All kind of temptation, adoration, profit, whatever. Maybe you get an inheritance for your grandmother. What about if you get now $1 million? What will you do? Bye-bye, devotees, Haribol, I'm off to Hawaii. Or what will you do with $1 million of pounds? Like that. So when there's a test coming, it means that Maya sees that you're now getting a little serious, so she finds a way to take the rug under your feet. And she does all kinds of tricks. And one does it by anger, one by lust, one by greed, one by madness, one by envy, gently, all by illusion. So year after year, going back to the story, Devaki gave birth to a child. And each year, Kamsa came and killed the child. So, when the seventh child, when Devaki was pregnant of the seventh child, who was the seventh child? Yes. And then the Lord, he ordered Yogamaya to transfer the child, the embryo in the womb of Devaki, to the womb of Rohini, which was a co-wife, another wife of Vasudeva. And she, when Kamsa imprisoned Devaki and Vasudeva, she has fled to Vrindavan or Nandagram or wherever it was there, Gokula, and took shelter of Nanda Maharaj. So she was living there. And so Lord Balaram took birth there. and like that. So, but then Devaki became pregnant of the 8th one. Or no, the 7th one was like a miscarriage. So it looked like it was a miscarriage then. So it's a little unclear. Well, for was it the 8th child, the 7th child, or a miscarriage? Does that count? That also goes there. Does that count? Will this be now the 7th or the 8th? But anyway, so then another child was born. The guards who were, because when Devaki was highly pregnant, the guards, they were there sitting outside, and suddenly they heard. And so they, oh God, the 8th child, oh, we have to tell Kamsa. So they were afraid, maybe, if you give bad news to a king, sometimes they kill you, because they get so angry. So, Your Majesty, the child is born. and Kamsa, he was so in anxiety, and he immediately went to the prison, and his hair scattered all over, and completely, if you're in anxiety, then your mind doesn't work properly. You go, what to do, the 8th, oh no, he's gonna come, oh no. And so he went there to the prison, and then Devaki, she held tight to the child, and he said, give me that child. And Devaki said, but it's a girl. Because at that time, the 8th one, I forgot to tell that, Krishna and Yogamaya, they were swapped. They had swapped places. Yogamaya has done that. So Krishna, no, not yet, later on. Sorry. So before Kamsa came, everyone, due to Yogamaya, everyone has fallen asleep in the palace. And thank you, Super Soul. I didn't have time to study it, so I remember again. So then everyone has fallen asleep, and miraculously the chains, because they were in chains, the chains just dropped off Vasudeva. And then he was ordered to bring little Krishna, through Nandagram, and then take the girl who was Mother Yasoda taking birth to a little girl, and take that little girl and put it on the lap of Mother Yasoda. So he took the child, his son, and then he went into the river. And you know what happened in the river? Can you imagine? In a river, and the river was like ferocious. You have rivers which are like this, but this river was like, it was in the middle of night. The waves were going like this. So he was holding the child, like this. And, you have to go through a river in the dark. So it's very difficult, And then it is said that at one point, he lost the child. And it is said that at that time, they were in Vrindavan, and there was, from Vasudeva Krishna, it became Krishna, and then he found it again. Can you imagine? My child. And then he fortunately found it. So then he went to the palace, and everyone was there also fast asleep. So silently, can you imagine? Big drama. So he brought the child, he switched the child, went back to his house, to the prison, put the chains back on, like that. So then the guards heard the crying, and then Kamsa came, and then he said, "Give me that child." And Devaki, because he had seen that because he was forgotten. Was it a boy or a girl? Oh, it's a girl. Well, I thought it was a boy. All Yogamaya and all like tired from giving childbirth. They said, but my dear brother, it's a girl. It's a girl. Jai Sisi Radha Gokunama Sitalama. Sisi Gonitai Ki Jai. He says, it's a girl. Please don't kill her. It was a boy. This is a girl. Please don't kill her. He says, give me the child. And he just grabbed the child, and he was about to just, how you call this, smash it on the floor, just like, and then, somewhere or other, the child just went, psh, from his hand, and it transformed into an 8-armed goddess. In each arm, she had a weapon, like a trident, a sword, a hook, or all kinds of weapons. And he was like, and she was comes, she was big voice and loud and angry, and he was like, and she went like a child. But he says, comes, don't you know, you stupid man, the child was destined, to kill you somewhere else, so like that. And you think you can kill me? Pathetic fool, like that. So then Kamsa was completely, oh God, what have I done? Sorry. Can you imagine? If a demigod appeared, or anyone, a big powerful person who looks angry at you, you go, sorry. Even if he's this big of Kshatriya, she's more powerful with, sword, shield, and he has only 2 arms, He's not like Ravana. So, and then afterwards he was so remorseful. He was so remorseful, and he said, "Oh, Devaki, Vasudev, what have I done?" And he was really crying, really like remorseful. He says, "What have I done? How could I be so atrocious of killing so many children? Please forgive me, please." And comes and Vasudev, he wasn't. Yeah, you asked. No, he says, "My dear Kamsa," he says, "it's all due to destiny. Like this, it happens. It's all right, It's all right. Like that." So Kamsa was relieved. Vasudeva was not angry at all. Devaki, maybe a little, but crying a little, but she didn't show it at least. And so he went relieved to his palace. But then, you see, he had some ministers, advisors. Any king has advisors, who tells them what to do, and this, you could do this, or this is maybe not such a good idea, like PR men, and also like this. So, and they were evil. They were very evil, and they were saying, "This is not good. This is not good. No. This is not good, Your Majesty. You know what?" He says, "We should." One said, "We should kill all the children, in this country." And that's what, like Herod in the Bible, he gave the order to all the children in Jerusalem, Bethlehem, or wherever there was a child born the last 10 days, should be killed. So he said, any child who was born these last 10 days should be killed. Then at least, this your sworn enemy will be one amongst them. If you just kill them all. That's the only way, Your Majesty, please. That's the only way to do it. I know people won't like it, but, many angry people, whose child will be killed, but it's the only way to survive. You have to, he's destined to kill you. We have to kill. And Kamsa, hearing his advices, agreed to that. So, then he thought, what to do? So then the ministers came, suggestions, and the first one they suggested was Putana. So now we skip them because each day someone has been talking about these other demons, Trinivata, Agasura. So we're talking about Kamsa now. So we continue with the story when at one point Krishna is about 12 or 15 years. Sometimes it is at 12, sometimes 15. And Narada Muni appears again at the court of Narada, court of Kamsa. And Kamsa is very pleased to see Narada again. But he was a little, not so happy with him because the advice he gave him was not really, it didn't work out, did it? So he said, so he was saying, nice to see you, after your last advice, but still nice to see you. And then Narada again, he said, like that. And he was telling him that, like this and this and this, this child, your sworn enemy who's destined to kill you, where he is, Nanda Maharaj, he gave shelter to him. what you should do is try to allure that boy to Mathura, because every time you sent a demon over there, he was killed, right? And what you should do is find a way to get this boy here. And you should find someone he can trust, not one of your enemies, not those funny-looking, strange-looking ones with big teeth. No, someone they trust. Akrura, his uncle. Akrura was living in Mathura. He says, how about Krishna's uncle, Akrura? So, Kamsa requested Akrura, story goes. So, Krishna, he goes to Mathura, along with his brother. And there, Kamsa, in the meantime, with his ministers, they made a plan, So, they had, if Krishna comes, first of all we have this, what did they have first? On their way, what did Krishna and Balaram see? Who did they meet? A big elephant named Kuvalyapida. And he was not a nice elephant like Gulab was in Mayapur, but he had a bad temper. And he was huge, male, and very aggressive. Because every animal is also, some are nice. So you have nice elephants, and you have angry elephants. You have nice dogs, and you have angry dogs. One time I was on Sankirtan in Amsterdam, and the houses are very, the stairs, they are very, they're going very steep like this. So one time I rang on the door, and the door opened, and then I hear, woof, 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 woof. And a big German Alsatian, you call them, I think, came down. I said, oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. And then he came down, and then passed urine here, next to me, not on my leg, but next to me. And then the lady who owns the dog, she said, oh, he always does it when he's afraid. Yeah. So anyway, so you have also scared big animals, And so like that. So, but this elephant was very angry, and so Krishna, he didn't let, and there was a little guy sitting on top of him who was going, get him, get that blue one, yeah, and that white one as well, like that, and tried to, get him to kill them, but Krishna, was it Krishna or Balaram? Krishna, who killed Kuvalyapid? Who was it? I forgot. Krishna killed him. And then at the end, they killed him, and they took the, how you call them? Husks? Tusks. They just broke it off. So strong they are, they just break from an elephant, just a tusk, you're not like, no, you just want, like that. It's Krishna. So sometimes he's so amazing, just like Govardhan Hill so what, if he lifts up Govardhan Hill, you can just, and go in the air. Anyway, so they both have this, it is described that they arrive in Mathura, that they sprinkled with the blood of Kuvalyapida, and they were carrying these tusks. So then they were approaching the arena. So then Kamsa was still in his palace, and then the messenger came, oh, Your Majesty, oh, bad news again. Kuvalyapida is slain. What? Can you imagine? Completely excited. What? Kuvalyapida? An elephant like this. Oh God! And he had another plan already. He had another plan in case it worked out. There were fighters. There was a wrestling arena. And there were fighters, they called Chanura and Mustika. They were the big ones, the main ones. They're very big, very huge. And, he called them over. Chanura! He said, come here. He says, kill Krishna. Kill this Krishna. Mustika, you kill this Balaram. Like that. At that time, the arena, like if you see in Rome, it's been in Rome, like arena, or maybe you see in a movie like The Gladiator or something like that. The arena, like that, they go like this, all the seats, and everyone was there, all the inhabitants of Mathura, but also of Vrindavan, wasn't it? Nanda Maharaj was there, and all the cowherd boys were there. And then it is said, I just remember that, it's very nice to remember that. Then when Lord Krishna arrived in the arena, do you remember, Prabhupada says in the purport, that different living entities saw Krishna in a different way. Can you remember anyone, not an older Prabhupada disciple, anyone new, even younger, anyone new who remembers how they saw Krishna? Yes? Go on. Yeah. Okay. So some saw him as a little beautiful boy, probably the gopis of Vrindavan, or maybe all the ladies of Mathura. And Gauri, what was the second one? The wrestler saw him as a thunderbolt. Anyone else? Sivakananda? The yogis saw him as a super soul. So there were also yogis present. Imagine they were invited to him. So somewhere or other they were just sitting in yoga, and then somewhere or other they found themselves in the arena. And they had their eyes closed till they opened it. Mm-hmm. How did a yogi arrive in an arena, a wrestling arena? Very amazing, isn't it? Anyway, so they all saw them. They were all like, so the hero enters, and everyone like, so they were all like, either like, wow, heavy, afraid, and others saw the object of my meditation. And the others saw, oh, isn't he sweet? And like that, you know. And the mothers, they were going, oh, so sweet child. Like that. Mother Devaki was there. Mother Devaki, was she there? Mother Devaki, she hasn't seen him since he was she's never seen him, because she thought she might seen him, but then in a glimpse she forgot about it. But as soon as she saw Krishna, she felt this affection, this motherly affection, which sometimes mothers have. You know, even if a child is taken away or you meet up with they feel a motherly affection. Sometimes the milk is flowing from their breast spontaneously. It's like that. It's wonderful. So then Krishna was there, and Balaram, and Kamsa said, Chanura! So Chanura says, so, Krishna, we've heard all about you. Yes. Oh, you killed so many demons. Krishna said, no, but I'm not a match to you. Look at your size. I'm this small. I'm just a young boy, and I'm just a coward boy. You know, and you don't fool me. You know, like, come on, let's wrestle. And then they were wrestle, and they said they were, you know, like hands against hands, tights against hands, and they're pulling and pushing, and you know, they were all there, like also Krishna like that, you know. I mean, he's God. He just go like, I mean, you know, and Chanu is somewhere there. No, yes, because in this way, you know, he doesn't show his strength yet. You know, he really goes like, oh, you know, and he also goes like this, or else there's no fun in it. You know, all this pastime. If Krishna shows all the time that he's God, then he just go mustika, and he just take a blade of grass, just like Balaram, just goes boom, and he's dead. No, he really goes into the fighting, and he's sweating, and then Chanura makes a move, and everyone, all the devotees of Krishna go, and then Krishna makes a move, and everyone, and then it comes to go, get him! So it's all the time it goes like this, and it is lila, this is pastime, and this anxiety, this eagerness, that purifies your heart, you know, not just this, but also, die, Krishna! Oh, Krishna, no! It all purifies your heart, your cry, your tears, your laughter, your hooray, you see, like that. And Krishna, because Krishna is a person, just like if you would be fighting and I would cheer you on, and go, yeah, you would like it. Say, he's my man. Like, right? Isn't it? And if I would do it with the enemy, you think, I thought he was my friend. Wasn't it? Like that. So Krishna's like that. So there's another test. for all those persons in Mathura to be either on the side of Kamsa or on the side of Krishna. They oblige financially, maybe. Well, I'm working for him. I get my paycheck of Kamsa. But, this boy is really nice. And actually this, Kamsa is not really nice, is he? Like that. So there is those people there watching. Can you imagine how they feel? And because they see Krishna, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Lord Balaram, they all attractive. So if it's like, wow, and then they're amazing, fighting against a wrestler which is like this huge, like muscles like this, and, like these wrestlers which you see in WrestleMania, whatever, and then 10 times more. All those people who pop pills, to get their muscles up like that, and they can't hardly move. They walk like this because they're all tight like that. But they were exercising, so they were also loose, those fighters. So then it goes on and on and on and on, and then finally, Krishna, first, who was killed first? Mustika or Chanura? Chanura by Krishna. And so then, everyone, and then the ones close to Kamsa, horrible, like that. Sorry, Majesty, no, horrible, sorry. And then, and then Balaram got, and he killed Mustika, right? So like that, and then Kamsa became berserk. He said, what? He said, what? I order that this Krishna Balaram should be killed! Kill them right away! Vasudeva as well! And my grandfather! And my father! Everyone should be killed! Like this, he became completely berserk. And then Krishna looked at him, and he jumped on the royal dais, because everyone is sitting like this, but then there is a special, just like I'm sitting higher than you, so the king, he has a special dais, maybe with an umbrella above him, etc. So he went, he jumped up the royal dais, and he grabbed, it is said, Kamsa by his hair to the middle of the arena, and then he went, bam, bam, and then